Hello. Yeesh. Hello. Whew. Okay, let me make sure I got everybody up here because I'm doing new stuff today. You know, new stuff. It's always something. Okay, let's see. What's this say? Oh, okay. Oh, I don't care about that. Okay, so I got that up. I got this one up. Where is? Ooh, I need to pop out the chat on this one. Happy Wednesday. I hope you know what today is. Today is Ask Coach Catasha. And Ask Coach Catasha is like one of my favorite shows, but it is also one of our spicier shows. So if this is your first one, I'm going to apologize in advance. Okay? I'm going to apologize in advance cuz it gets spicy. I'm not even going to story to you. It gets spicy. Let me pull up because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see all of my chats here. So let me pull up. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Because again, we're doing new stuff, and it can be kinda nuts. Ooh wee. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I have a question from June the 8th. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's June 23rd. Um, But they didn't actually ask any questions. They just asked me if they could ask questions. So I'm just gonna reply to this right now. Oh, I think they blocked me because I'm super late. Oh, I'm so sorry. Um, Gosh. Yeah, I think because it doesn't give me the option to reply. I mean, but okay, technically they didn't ask me any questions. They just asked me if they could ask me questions. So if you have a girlfriend named Michelle and you're trying to get her pregnant and you sent me a message on June 8th. Could you please unblock me so I can tell you that you can't ask me your questions about Michelle and her pregnancy if you want to? um, yeah. Okay. So, dang. Maybe I'll try to. I'm not. Okay. Hey. So, welcome to Ask Coach Catasha. Today we are doing our live Q&As. So if you have a sexual health question, you can drop that question in the chat and I will answer it for you live. And if you have questions that you don't necessarily want attached to your name, but you do have questions that you want answered, you can also send those questions to me. I promise to be better about answering them. It's so many pages. I guess I need to downsize where people can message me at, because like it's so much social media, and like I'm gonna be honest with you, social media is not my life. Like it is not, and I know that it is for a lot of people, and that there's an expectation that everybody's just on social media all the time. But I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I promise I'm not. And Oh, no, they got a response rate question. Never do that. Never, don't put that on there. So I'm not. But if you give me an opportunity, I promise to get to it. I do get questions. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, or I'll get questions that were like questions that we answered last week and things like that. But most of the times we have questions. So if you have questions and you don't want them attached to your name, you can email those questions to me at expressionofrepression@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on any of our social media outlets. Again, I'm gonna need time, so if you have me on a time limit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You just gonna have to stick in and wait for it. Because I do have a lot of questions, and I also do have other responsibilities as a sex educator, so I don't always get to everything immediately. But if you can send them, I will send them. I will grab those questions, bring them back, and I can answer them, bring them back to the chat, and we can answer them live without it actually being attached to your name. Now, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and just throw that question into the chat and I can answer it live. Now, there are different social media platforms have different they have different built-in moderators, right? And since we are talking about things of a sexual nature, sometimes some of the language that we use is automatically flagged in the system. If you're scooping what I'm pooping, okay? So if you run into that, if you ask a question and you see that I'm not answering it or it hasn't showed up in the chat, you can let me know, hey, I asked a question, it didn't show up, and you can ask me that question again, omitting some of the words that may be getting flagged. And I'm really good with my context clues, so you should be able to, I should be able to answer those questions with just a little bit of knowledge, because I do want to answer the question. I don't have any moderators on. I've turned everything off because I do know that people sometimes don't always have the language for the questions they have. And so I don't have those moderators on. You can ask me whatever questions in whatever language. I'm going to assume that you have good intentions because you're just asking a question, and I'm going to answer that question with those same good intentions. Now, if you are using some language that is kind of coded or language that is inappropriate, then of course I will correct that language, but I'm not going to judge you for using the language or anything like that, because you may honestly not know, right? I'm always just going to assume that you don't know and that you're asking questions because you want to know. So, with that being said, you can ask your questions. You can ask whatever sexual health questions you want. I actually do already have some lined up. So, if you have a question about one of the questions we're talking about or any of the things that we're discussing, feel free to, chime in and leave a question in the chat, or you can leave commentary in the chat if it's something that you've experienced before. All those types of things. Like, just whatever you feel, whatever feelings that you have. Okay. So let's get to the questions that we have. Okay. Um, I did pull a couple out. We actually got some really good ones. Like ones that I don't think that I've covered before. And all questions are good questions. Whatever question you have is a reasonable question, especially if you don't know, and given the fact that most people don't have an outlet to ask sexual health questions in an arena that's actually going to get you an honest and helpful answer, right? So that's what this space is for. And so we have some questions that I actually haven't addressed before, and some of them I had to like look up and stuff just to be sure. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, so first question, and let me put it in the chat so I make sure that we are all keeping up. The first question is, how do I stop gym erections? I'm not even aroused, and it is embarrassing. ATP. And so, Amy didn't know what that meant. Amy didn't know what it meant, so I had to go Google it, and it means at this point. Okay, I had to go be sure. I had to go be sure. At this point, it's ATP. Okay, so listen. Amy catching up. She catching up. So, how do I stop gym erections? So let's talk about what's happening in the body and why why that's happening. Let me take a little sip first. Okay, so your body uses a lot of the same functions for different reasons, right? And so when you are in the gym and you are pumping up and you're getting excited and your blood is going to different places, one of the places it can find itself is in the tissue of the penis. That is one of the places that it can end up. And so there is a such thing as exercise induced orgasms. So if the erection is all you getting, you're doing pretty good. But it could be worse. That's all I'm saying. It could be worse. Well, or better, depending on how you look at it. Because if orgasms were attached to my gym sessions, I'd be in there for hours. But that's not my life. So, but that can happen. The way that your body works and the way that exercise releases the endorphins in the body, because you're using the same endorphins that you would be using if you were aroused or engaged in an intimate connection, your the penis doesn't know that. Okay, the penis is like, hey, I don't know, we looking good. It's getting sweaty in here. I'm excited. All the blood is pumping. My heart's pumping, and my breath is shallow, and all the same things that happen to you when you are aroused can also happen to you when you are working out. And so there are a couple of things you can do. There's not much. I don't know how old you are. You did not add that, but I'm going to assume that this is something that is that you're younger, and this is something that is a new thing for you, right? So first things first, you want to make sure you're wearing supportive underwear. Okay, if you're going to the gym, the old school boxers, not gonna give you any leeway, right? So you need to get you some briefs or get something that has support in the crotch area. And there are different types of underwear that have different types of support, so you can get the kind that you need, but you need something with some support in it so you can kind of bundle it up. Okay. Bundle it up as you are, going through the motions to make sure that, it's not sticking straight up. And then of course you want to use a distraction. You can think about your grandma's feet. You can think about the mailman's butt. You can, all kinds of things. Just try to use distractions, baseball, Mike Tyson's armpit, whatever you need to try to get the blood away from that area. You can also readjust yourself. So if you are sitting, you can lean a little forward. You can put yourself not in an uncomfortable position, but in a position that doesn't make the erection as noticeable, but also doesn't support an erection. So if you were to lean your body forward a little bit, that cuts off the way the circulation can move down there and may redirect the brain and the body to allow that to go down. You can also do a tuck if you need to tuck it up. If you don't have the proper stuff, but you need to work out and you're not letting nothing stop you, You can turn it different ways. And tucking it up is a good, I know that's not something that a lot of people think about, but if you have a larger member and you are more prone to erections, if it does, you do get an erection or, something is happening and you are out in public, that is one of the ways that you can help. That is just by, pulling it up and tucking it up. So it's not necessarily connected to like your arousal per se. Um, it's just a function of the blood going in that direction, and it doesn't really need a reason. Like, you don't have to prompt it to go in that direction. But if it does get caught down there, you will, get an erection. You should be able to, with using those tips, and you may have to use more than one. You may have to use all of them. You should be able to reset the body and continue your workout. Now, that's not going to say that it's not going to come back. And again, it may just be a heightened sense of working out. It may just be because your body's not used to that. If you're something you're doing as a new, but as a new activity, like if you weren't in the gym like that before, you weren't athletic before, and now you are experiencing this thing, that may be what that is. So you just got to give yourself a little space, a little grace, to hopefully learn how to manage how to manage those erections, and how to manage taking care of, yourself in the meantime. But usually, honestly, wearing briefs should help. It's not going to stop the erections from coming, but at least stop it from being noticeable. As far as it, like, you stopping it from coming, I honestly don't know how to do that. And so I looked it up. I was like, is there something you could do? But they're just saying that there's nothing that you can really, like, it's just something that happens. It's not supposed to happen often, but it can absolutely happen. So, not something to be too embarrassed about, because it actually happens quite often. Let me see what the numbers are. How do I want to word this? Sometimes random boners happen. Oh, this one said it could be because of pre-workout too. So maybe there's something in pre-workout, but it doesn't show. It doesn't show like how often that happens. But it does show that about 5% of people, regardless of gender, reported having at least 1 to 2 exercise-induced orgasms. So, I mean, 5% is a lot of people. 5% of the population, that's still a lot. So, you're not alone. So I say that. I'm sorry that it's causing you distress and that it's making stuff harder for you, for sure. But, I don't think there's necessarily anything you could do to, like, stop it. It could be a side effect to one of your medications. It could be lots of things. Oh, hold on, I didn't put the question in the TikTok chat. Again, I'm doing something new today, so and I'm gonna put that before all of them, so if somebody pops in, they don't think I'm just making stuff up. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's remember, you can drop your questions. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. I will be happy to answer them. Okay, so there's the chat for that. And then if you want to ask questions but you don't want people in your business, right, which we completely understand, everybody don't need to know what you're into or what you have questions about, you can send those questions to that email address and I will get them answered for you. Okay? All right. Do we have any conversation about that question? I don't think that we do. just a little bit. Okay, just so I can see that chat. And then what about this chat? I don't know how to pop this one out. Because what kind of chat do you not pop out? Anyway, what else? What else? Okay, we got other questions. I don't see any more questions in the chat, so about that. So we will keep moving. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's do this first. So I got a question. Let's talk about this because I thought this was a good question. This is a question that we presented in class. And this is not necessarily a question to me, but just a question to you all and something to think about as you go about your your life. Where is your comfortability in the budding sexuality of kids, right? We talked about that in one of my classes recently, and I thought that was a really good question, and I wrote it down. Um, because, of course, we know that children are sexual beings. We are all sexual beings, and we have a way in which we expect sexuality to be presented, right? That's a lot of discourse about what's going on right now. But how do we feel about? Sorry, I got skin growing on the side of my nose, and I can see it out of my eye down here. Is it it? You know, I think that's what I was pulling at the whole time. Um, but how do you feel, and where do you stand on the budding sexuality of kids? Where do you think they are supposed to learn certain behaviors or how to interact with others, how to learn about themselves? And it's just a question to think for yourself, just, to kind of ponder on. Okay. So our next user question, and let me drop it in all the chats. Okay, so this one, small trigger warning if you have issues with. Um, oh, this one was long, so it didn't all fit in there, so I'm going to put it in pieces. Ooh, I don't. Is that going to let me? I'm going to take that part out because it might pop it in here. Okay. See, I'm only 5'4", 135. Okay, this is where we stopped. Okay, so next question. Why do people like being choked during sex? Isn't that dangerous? My man is big, like 250 pounds, and he's into that, but I'm only 5'4", 135. He's been trying to teach me how, but I want to know why he wants that. Okay, so that's a really good question. Firstly, like how much you weigh or how big you are, how small you are, doesn't matter. People like what they like. So if you're saying that in like you don't know how to do it because he's larger and you're smaller, the how big you are has no bearing on the sensation that you're looking for by asphyxiation. And so that doesn't him being big doesn't mean that he can't like that or that's not or and you being small meaning that you can't participate in that as well. That's not what that's for. So, but if you whatever size you are is not necessarily the issue. And I'm going to try to explain this in a way that doesn't get us banned or blocked, okay? Um so essentially what's happening is you're not necessarily restricting the breath. You have two arteries right on the side of your, I don't, neck right here. So there's two arteries that go straight and they carry blood to that artery. I mean, to your brain, through that artery. And so essentially, what you're looking for as far as what most people are looking for when you're talking about asphyxiation through intimate activities is blocking the blood from getting to that brain for a short amount of time. And so what essentially happens is when you block the blood for a short amount of time, when you release the pressure, the blood rushes to the brain. And that's what that euphoric feeling is. It's the same like being on a roller coaster or doing anything kind of like dangerous where, your body's kind of being thrown around and your blood is rushing to your brain, like being upside down, that feeling of that. And so that's essentially what there's the sensation that people are chasing, not actually no longer having access to air. And so even in doing that, no matter how big or small you are, you're really only temporarily blocking that artery so that the blood can rush to the brain when you are letting go. Now, if he's trying to show you how to do it, then that means he's done it before and he knows how it works for him. So, him already knowing what he wants and telling you that I can show you how to do it is a very, very good sign, because that means he's proactive in making sure that he stays alive and that you don't get in trouble. But also that you're talking to somebody who has researched something that they enjoy and like, and they know how it works and what to do to get them to that space. So it's just a it's a play on the way the body works, but not a removal of oxygen. In actuality, there should be no pressure on the middle of the throat, because that's where your larynx and your all your good cords and your voice box and everything that leads, all of that's there, and you could damage that by putting pressure on that. And so, you didn't ask me how to do it, so I'm not going to talk about how to do it. But he can show you how to do it if that's what he's into and he's done it before. Now, make sure that he's done this before and that he's not just telling you to do something that he saw on TV. Do your own research. Come back if you need me to teach you. If you feel like his directions is a little bit shaky and that you might end up on Dateline, just call me back, girl. Call me back and we'll get it figured out. But if he is telling you that this is what he likes and he knows what he wants, then that should be good enough. Just think of it if the shoe was on the other foot. If it was something that you were interested in and it was a little bit risque, but you knew that that's what you liked and you knew how you liked it and what to do, and you were trying to share that, you would want someone to be open to that kind of thing. And so it's just the chemical rush that goes with the reason why people like to do it is because there is a sense of euphoria when that blood does rush back into the brain. How long you should be doing that for is, that's up in the air, but it should not be very long. Even cutting it off for a couple of seconds is enough to get that feeling. So you're not trying to go for pass out again, unless that's what your person is into. Some people are. I'm not judging. But it could get more dangerous the longer that you're holding on. So you want to make sure that you are being very safe. And again, remember the point is to not be putting pressure here, but to be putting pressure here. And let's see if we can find a photo of the artery, so you know exactly. I don't know how to spell that. I know it's a carotid artery. Yeah. Oh, hold on. How did I spell it? Oh, I put an extra A in there. Man, I almost had it though. I almost had it, y'all. Okay. Ooh, this is a good photo. We'll look at this one. Let me share my screen for a second. And we can look. This is talking about disease, of course. but it is a good way for you to see it be taking a while for it to figure out the window. There we go. That I want to open. All right. So here, can I just? Oh, okay. I'm messing up. My bad. This is the artery that's going to go up to that brain, right? And so that's what you're essentially cutting off the pathway to. And then once that pathway is reintroduced, the brain, of course, is backed up back here, and it rushes to the brain, and it gives you that, oh, that kind of euphoric feeling of relief. And so that's where you're focusing. It should not be a focus on actually like cutting off the airways. It should be just that. Let's see how you say it, because I don't want to. I feel like I'm gonna mess that up. Let's see what the people say. Carotid.
Carotid.
Carotid. Okay. Carotid artery. Okay, okay. So that's, I hope that answers your question. That's the reason that people would be interested in doing that. Your size, how big or small you are, doesn't necessarily matter because you are not using force or strength. You are simply just cutting off the pathway for the blood for a short amount of time and then reintroducing that pathway and letting that blood rush up to the brain. Okay? All right, all right. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Now I can't see all of them. I don't know how to, Amy is I don't have it all together, so I'm figuring it out. But I don't have it all together. So I don't know as far as like TikTok and Facebook. I don't think I'm missing anything. Okay, we will minimize you. We don't need that window. And then we also don't need you. All right, all right. Okay, let's get to the next question. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those questions in the chat. Any questions about sexual health, identity, um, erection issues, vaginal discharge, pain, any of those things, you can drop in the chat and I'll be happy to help. Okay, next question. I don't know. I'm going to block that out and I'll just tell you. Because they might block that one. They might tell me no on that one. Okay. So, I probably should have changed that before. Okay. Question: can spicy food change the taste of your spunk or semen? Can it change the taste of your semen? We can use the we can use the politically correct word. Yes, anything that you eat, drink, ingest, because your body is using all of those things, all of the ingredients that you're putting in to make all the ingredients that come out. Okay, that's the way it goes. So whatever you're putting into your body is going to have an effect on the things that come out. So yes, spicy foods can change the taste of what comes out of the body. But it's not just spicy foods. There are other foods that are just high in different kinds of things that can also change the way that it tastes. People say pineapples just because of the sweetness, but asparagus also changes The spunk, if you have a heavy red meat diet, it will have an effect on the taste of your bodily fluids. All those things, everything that you put in your body uses to make the stuff that comes out. So, um, so yeah, it absolutely will. It absolutely will. It's not something you really think about very often as far as like spicy being the culprit. But yes, I don't know if it makes it spicy now. I don't think it makes it spicy. I think it just changes the makeup of what that is, because essentially what that is it's your sperm, but it's also like a glucose uh, type of liquid, which is has different. I want to say sugars, but it's not. It is, but it is made up of things to help the sperm to survive. It helps it to feed. It provides it the nutrients that it needs. It provides it with motility, which helps for movement. And so all of those things are made up of things that you're putting into the body. And so it absolutely will. Yeah, it will. hmm Along with a host of other things. But I want to know, let's see if it makes it spicy. I don't I don't know that. I feel I feel terrible even typing it in. Okay, so there's no definitive scientific evidence proving that spicy foods make semen taste spicy. It does say that, however, consuming strong flavored foods like garlic and chili might impart a noticeable taste or smell to semen, while a diet rich in fruits and water could lead to a milder taste. That is the AI answer. So they're saying that it's not enough. Um, there's not enough research to show a strong link between diet and semen flavor. But they do have strong links between diet and the smell of sweat and bodily fluids like breast milk and saliva and all those things. So it would stand to reason that even though they haven't done the research on it yet, which, look, while we're talking about that, let me go ahead and I have a research things to research notepad, and that's got to go on there. It's got to go on there. Sorry. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, I need to. Okay. Hey, I need to know. I need to know. um, and don't let me get no money. If I get some money, I'm gonna start my own research center. And I'm gonna just research everything on my list. So, although we don't have a lot of data surrounding it, it does stand to reason that the things that you consume will have an effect on the way the body tastes. Okay? Okay. All right. Next question. All right. Let me make sure there ain't nothing in here. And then I'll drop it in here. And then I also need to put it. It says that it's showing up on Facebook, but I'm not showing that. I don't see that. Let me make sure though. Okay, where are you? See, I don't see that in there. Okay, well, I'll just put it in there too. You're not gonna keep them away from it. Okay, okay. Okay, next user question. My friend was hooking up with this guy and she thinks they lost the condom inside of her vagina because she didn't see it when he pulled out. Is that possible? What do you do if that happens? So, yes, that is possible. Excuse me. The the vagina is a muscle. Okay? It is a muscle and depending on the grippage and also if the correct placement of condoms and also excess lubrication. There's a lot of different things that could cause a condom to come off. Hopefully, it slipped off and it was not taken off. Um, so, and may not. I don't know if your friend had the conversation with the person, but that's definitely the first thing you want to do is have that conversation if to make sure that it is actually it came off or that you pulled it off. And that is essentially called stealthing, and that is a crime in many states. So maybe not many states, but it's a crime in some states, and it can be illegal, and it is also a breach of your trust and all those other things. And so you definitely want to be sure that if you feel like you are in a situation that was not part of the original consent agreement, that you clarify so that you know what to do next. So if that does happen and you do lose a condom during sexual activity and you think it's still inside, it cannot get lost. There are a lot of different holes and pockets and things in there. So essentially, because you're going to be in there digging close around like the cervix, and that cervix leads to the uterus, and the uterus leads to the inside of the body. So we don't want to be introducing bacteria directly to that area. So make sure you're washing your hands well, and then you're going to go in and you're going to find that cervix and you're going to start the perimeter, an outer perimeter search. It's going to be somewhere in there, right? And so what essentially it is there's a donut inside of a tunnel. Okay, so you have a straight tunnel and then you have a donut sitting in the back of it. That donut is round, and so there are ridges all the way around it, and those are places where things can get caught and get stuck. They can't go back into the body, of course, but because of the way the structure of the cervix and the vaginal canal is, it could be in the either any of four corners or on the top of the bottom. So you're just going to start working your way around that cervix, feeling with your fingers to feel for the condom. Now that's going to be easier to do if the vaginal canal has been shortened. How do you shorten the vaginal canal? Throw your legs up. Either throw your legs up or get on your hands and knees, drop your belly, or get on your all fours, and then you're just going to be on your knees and you're going to drop your belly. You're going to shorten that vaginal canal to make it easier to get back there where that cervix is so that you can find it. It's also going to be easier to find once you're no longer sexually aroused, because the body completes a process called tenting when you're sexually aroused, and that moves the cervix up and out of the way, and then it will come back to its regular position and make it closer so that you can kind of get in there to see. Now, I know that's hard to do, to wait, because you're going to be panicking a little bit, but it just will make it a little bit easier to get in there if it is moved back down to its original position and you have like your legs up, like close, thighs to chest if you can, or as close as you can get, to squeeze that canal shorter and make it where it's more accessible. If you cannot get it out, you can go to a physician. They can get it out easily. They'll put you in the stirrups. They'll put the little speculum in there, open you up, and they should be able to see it and pull it right out. And again, it's because of the the way that you're laying, the way that your legs are up, and the tools that they have. They'll be able to go in and do that. And they can do that even if it's an emergency situation and you're like super freaked out. You can go to urgent care and they'll do it for you. If not, then you could just wait and go to your OBGYN, make an appointment with your OBGYN or your primary care physician, depending on the services they offer, and they'll be able to go in there and pull it out for you. You don't want to leave it in there too long. That condom is not meant to be in the body for hours and hours and hours. So you need to, if that is what you're thinking, then you need to make sure that you are pretty quickly getting that rectified. Next thing you're going to do is that you are going to follow the appropriate protocols as if you had unprotected sex, okay? You need to get an STI panel. You need to go back in 3 weeks or 6 months or whenever and get it again. So essentially what's going to happen is it takes a little bit of time for sexually transmitted infections to show up. It is good to get tested while you're there, but you're also going to need to make a follow-up appointment. I would make 2 follow-up appointments. So you can make one in 3 months, even if you haven't seen any symptoms. If you have seen symptoms, make it sooner. So you make the initial appointment, you come back in 3 months, you come back in 6 months, and you treat it just as if you had unprotected sex. And so, because, of course, you're going to possibly need a plan B if you or your partner are both fertile. You want to make sure that you are covered on that end, that you're not possibly exposed to pregnancy or sexually transmitted infections. Okay, so make a little phone call with your OBGYN or your primary care physician. And if you go to your OBGYN, you can do all that in the same swap. You can get your STI panels, STD, STI panels, make your follow-up appointments, do it all in the same time. But if they are too far out, if your OBGYN can't see you for another 2-3 days, just go to urgent care. Just go to urgent care and they'll pull it out for you and they'll charge you to do it. If you got a really good homegirl who don't mind, everybody should have at least one homegirl that'll get down in there if they need to for you. So if you don't have the money, you may have to use some different resources. Use your friend cards. To see if you can find somebody to help you, but don't leave it in there too long. And it's not going to be a thing where it goes up into the body. And it's the same thing with a tampon. Sometimes tampons can go so far up, and if you have a short string, or if some tampons didn't used to come like that, they didn't always come like that. It was just a roll of cotton. So there's a possibility that you could have you could lose the string. You could do all kinds of things. You could forget it was in there. You can all kinds of things happen. And I know that people don't think that that's a thing that happens, but like when you have your cycle, there's also a really good amount of mucus, okay? And mucus is slippery. And so there are times when someone may think that the tampon has slipped out during pee or whatever, because if you're in public, those toilets flush before you can even see what's in them. As soon as you get up, rock forward, they flush, and so you can't see. And this is an account that one of my customers literally gave me. She was in the airport. She was had her period. She thought it had slipped out, and so she was like, I just put another one in and kept on going, and then she just kept switching them out. But that other one never came out, and so she ended up getting really sick, and she didn't know why. And it was because there was another tampon that was in there that was far back in there that she thought had come out, but it had not. And so that can absolutely happen. That's a real thing that could happen to you. So, but it doesn't go up into the body. It's not going to show up in your intestines. You're not going to wake up in the morning and it's like the tip is coming out your nose or nothing like that. It's going to stay in that area, but it's still not good for it to stay in that area. So make sure that, you're on top of what's going on with your body, even during your intimate connections. Okay? All right. Do we have any questions? Let's see what else we got. I want to make sure I ain't missing nothing, because I am good for it. Okay, okay. Okay, we don't have anything there. If you do have questions, you can drop them in the chat. And I will answer them if I see them. Trying to get everybody on board. So I can see all the diddly bops. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, it doesn't look like we have. Oh, hold on. Hmm. Hold on. Okay, okay. Well, nothing to do with me though, or us either. Okay, well, where's the one that it says is in here? Hmm. Okay. All right, all right. Let's see what else. We had a couple more. Ooh, this one was actually good. Okay. All right. There's that one. And then let me put it here. And then here. Oh, see, it is showing up in here, but like, why is it not showing up over there? Oh, there's everybody. Oh, so it did show up on this one. Boo. Okay, so the question is, can you get stuck inside someone during sex? Okay, so the answer is rarely, but yes, it is possible. It's actually a process called penis, let me make sure I'm saying this right. Penis captivus. Penis captivus. Again, super rare, still a possibility. It happens because the vaginal muscles spasm around a penis, and it like temporarily traps the penis in place. It just kind of like snugs it and holds it because of the swelling and the spasms. And then, but eventually, usually in a small amount of time, like in seconds or a few minutes, it resolves on its own. Like the muscle can't contract forever. And it's not like super dangerous, but it is super awkward for it to happen. And again, it's rare, but it's not completely impossible for the vaginal wall to spasm and lock on. And, depending on where you are in the process, you may not be able to get out. So, yeah, like you could, you could get trapped inside of a vagina, which would suck if you was cheating. Like, if you was out doing some stuff you ain't have no business doing, you get caught cheating, and now you can't get out. So, yeah, it is. That is a possibility. Um, that you can get stuck. Not in the same way like a dog gets stuck though. Um, More like in the what a dog has, the intention is to not come out. Like the penis is usually barbed, and so it makes it to where it can't come out. But that's not the way that it happens in a vagina. The vagina is actually spasming and keeping it in versus the other way around. So, yeah, that, yeah, yeah, you actually could experience that. I don't know if, I don't know if, how often does it happen though? Let's look it up. Let's see. Penis captivus. Oh, it's also translate to trapped penis. Oh, okay. Ooh, but it can be painful though. Immediate medical attention is necessary to treat penis captivus. Manual separation of the penis and vagina, sedation or anesthesia, and surgical intervention in rare cases. So, there are no known preventative measures for penis captivus. However, it is important to communicate openly with your partner about any concerns or discomfort during sexual intercourse. Penis captivus is a rare condition, is not typically considered a serious medical issue. However, if you experience symptoms, it is essential to seek medical attention promptly. How do you treat vaginal spasms that cause penis captivus? Like how do they address that? Um, how do I want to say that? How to treat vaginal spasms that cause penis captivus? Pelvic floor therapy. That's what I thought. And vaginal dilator therapy. Now that sounds interesting. What's that? Explain this. Dilator therapy is a technique used to help women who experience pain or discomfort with vaginal penetration due to vaginismus or other pelvic floor dysfunction. It involves the use of a smooth, lubricated tube shaped device, gradually increasing in size to help the person get used to vaginal insertion. Oh, okay, that makes sense. A dilator for the vagina, a vaginal dilator. I did not put that. What does it look like? I want to see an image. Um, ooh, that's not a vaginal dilator. That's a broken weenie. Okay, hold on. Vaginal dilators. I want to see what it looks like. Oh, it just looks like a like a dildo, but it comes in different sizes. But I mean, I'm sure that is super helpful for someone who has a very tight pelvic floor or any other kind of issues. And so that's what I'm thinking. Like, they're saying that if this does happen, if the penis does get stuck, it's not necessarily because of the penis, it's because of the vagina. So I'm like, okay, well, what do we do? And essentially, it's just a pelvic floor issues. It's some issues with the muscle. Again, the vagina is a muscle. So it's an issue with the muscle of the vagina, and so you would have to work that muscle. And it looks like for a vaginal dilator, it actually just gets you used to insertion. Um, it comes with like different shapes and I guess you can put it. I do not know a lot about pelvic floor therapy. I refer out every single time about that. Um, but I am learning more about it now just because I'm interested in it. I guess it's just time for me to start. Ooh, here's a little guide. Can we go to this website? I'm not gonna put it up here because they'll definitely kick us out. if, I put, if I put it up here, they got some little pictures, but I can't. I'm not gonna be able to show you. But essentially, what you are going to be doing is using a smaller dilator or dildo, um, and then working your way up to get your body used to insertion and to train your muscles to not freeze up like that when something is inserted, to not seize up and lock up like that. And it is going to be a practice situation. If you are having that issue, a pelvic floor therapist would be perfect for that, to help you through that. Pelvic floor therapists have they have magic hands. Like, they can hit a couple of boop 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 spots in there and completely just relax the vaginal muscles, and put it through stress, and help it to relax, because essentially, again, it is a muscle. So if it's like tensed up like this, like a charley horse tensed up, you essentially want to work it out to where it like releases and you can feel relaxed, and because this is going to cause pain. And especially if it's kind of like, how in in auto accidents, when there's always someone who's driving under the influence, it always seems like they always walk away, right? That they're fine, they just have a scratch on their head, and then the other people who are completely sober are usually just torn to shreds. Well, they say a part of that is the body being able to anticipate the danger, and it tenses up to anticipate the danger, and that's what causes a lot of the pain of you trying to hold it and then the car throwing the body another way. And it's kind of the same way with the vaginal muscles. If you are just tight and holding on to it and just straining, that's going to tire that muscle out. It's going to make it super painful. It's not going to make intimate connections a pleasurable experience for you. And so you're going to have to, but you can go to a pelvic floor therapist. I'm telling you, they'll go in like boop, 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 boop. How you feel? And you'll be like, what? Like, it is just getting into a couple of those nerve places. And, we talk about the nerve centers. I like to call them the club. We talk about all these nerve centers and all these clubs in the body. There are nerve centers also in the vaginal canal, that places where a bunch of nerves meet, a bunch of things are collecting. You can go in there and you can tap on those areas, and it'll help that muscle to relax and to allow you to relieve that tension in the muscle. So that you don't necessarily have to be doing penis captivus to need this information specifically. If you are just someone who is experiencing pain during sexual interactions, and you're experiencing that where you feel like the muscle is just tight and it's like painful, you're not enjoying this, and it's just you can't get it in, all these things, a pelvic floor therapist is going to be your lifesaver. Your lifesaver. There are also plenty of tools that you can use that they're going to recommend for you to use in that transitionary period. Please listen to them. Please follow the please follow instructions that they give you, because I have to check my clients all the time. Like, what did she tell you to do? What did he tell you to do? You in there complaining it's not working and you're not doing what they told you to do. So you have to make sure that you're following the plan that you're given to get your life back to where you want it to be, and to be able to create sexual experiences that feel authentic to you and that don't cause you pain or any more trauma. Okay? Okay? All right. All right. Do we have anything else? Any other questions? Again, if you have a sexual question that you would like answered, you can stop in on Wednesdays. You can drop it in the chat. If you do not want people in your business and you don't want your question to be attached to your username, you can send that question to my inbox at at gmail.com, and I will bring that question back to the chat on Wednesday and we will answer it for you live. Now, I have one more question. This was actually a question that was asked by a friend of mine, but I also thought it was a really good question. And the question was, what is it called when I am attracted to myself more than I am attracted to other people? And that question, it was actually a voice note. So let me put it, I'm going to type it in. And okay, I'm going to put this on. No, wow. Okay. All right. And here is the question is, what is it called when I'm attracted to myself more than I'm attracted to other people? Meaning, when I see myself, I actually turn me on more than when I see other people and I get turned on. And that does actually have a name. It is called an autosexual. So, an autosexual is someone who is attracted or is turned on by themselves more than they are, or for the most part, more than they are turned on by other people. And that is actually a really good type of attraction to have. So here's the thing about attractions. Even the straightest of straight people, the straightest straight hetero, even the straightest of straight people fall into multiple sexual attractions, okay? So, because you can be attracted to the opposite sex, but how you are attracted to the opposite sex is also a type of sexual attraction. So, if you are a person who needs a romantic connection or needs a deeper connection to be a to be attracted to them, then you're likely a demisexual. If you are a person who's attracted to more than one gender, then you're likely pansexual. And so there are, and when you say more than one gender, we're talking about someone that is attracted to somebody who's outside of the man woman binary, right? So if you are attracted to someone who may be trans, you're pansexual. Even if you're still straight, like, that is still, even if you're still typically attracted to the opposite sex, you can still have different types of attractions. And even outside of sexual attractions, you can have different types of romantic attractions with people. So you can have an intellectual attraction with them, you can have a physical attraction, you can have an emotional attraction, you can have a romantic attraction that does not include a sexual attraction at all. And so there are so many different types of attractions, but being a person that is turned on by the sight of yourself is a special type of attraction, because there are very many people who do not view themselves as attractive to them. Okay? So there are people who don't see themselves as attractive. They, they don't think that they're ugly, but they're not sexually attracted to what they present, right? And so to be that and to have an attraction to what you are offering is that those are my favorite type of people. Those are my favorite type of people because you are fighting against a society that tells you that however you present is not good enough, right? Whatever you wearing, whatever you have on, whatever you're doing, whatever your highlights look like, whatever you have, you as a person is not going to be good enough. And it doesn't teach you that you can be sexually attractive. It teaches you how to find people who are sexually attractive to you, but it doesn't teach you that you are also sexually attractive. And so people struggle with seeing themselves as a sexual being, as a sexually attractive person. And, especially if you have flaws, if you have a belly or you have a gap or, you don't have enough ass or your feet are bad or all these different things are the reasons why you see or could be the reasons why you see yourself as unattractive, even if you don't see that in other people. In the full time that I've been doing this, one of the first things that I noticed is that women would come to me and be like, "You are so beautiful. You are so confident. Like, oh, I just wish I had what you had," and all these things. And physically, I would be aware that these women look better than me, right? They are more aesthetically pleasing. They have the body shape of that is more aesthetically pleasing. They are, they check all the boxes, but they just don't feel that way about themselves. Now, they was right when they were talking about me. They were right when they was talking about me, because I am also someone who is attracted to me and to my body type. So when I see myself, I'm like, oh, okay, girl, all right. Like, I do feel that way about myself. But that is not something that everyone has. And so for people who have that, it is so much easier for me to help them see where sexual attraction lives and comes from and how you embody sexual energy if I can convince you that you are also sexually attractive. It's so much easier. It's so much easier to not have to fight that burden and fight that battle. It is. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It is. And so it has a name. There are lots of different names for lots of different types of attractions. And shameless plug, I have a journal coming out soon. And in that journal, I have a couple of word search pages. And in one of those word search pages is a bunch of romantic and sexual identities. It is. So it is. I did do that. I did. So, if you are interested in other types of identities, I do have something that could help you in the future. But it was just a way for me to kind of throw that in there. The journal is a prompt. It's a 20 questions to ask your sexual self. And it's not extensive. It's really just to get you thinking and for you to really just dig into who you are, how you identify, what are your goals sexually, like what do you wish to accomplish in your sexual future? And that should be a part of your daily conversation with yourself and how you want your financial future, how you want your emotional future to pan out. Your sexual future is also super important, especially if you want a seamlessly happy experience. Sex is a free way to release your dopamine and endorphins and all those things, and it's a free fun way to get the joy that your body makes, because your body makes joy. Your body learns it, and then it feeds you when you are doing the things that you enjoy doing, right? That's how those systems work. Your dopamine works like that. When it finds something that we like doing, it releases the dopamine. And so you want to train your sexual existence in the same way, that you are getting satisfaction that your needs are being met, and that you have access to this free happy booster, and that if you have access to it, that you are using it in a way that benefits you. So it is important. Your sexual history, your sexual health, all those things are important. If you're having issues with any corner of your sexual health, there are probably 14 treatments for it if you're willing to have the conversation about it. So I want to encourage you to identify any issues that you may be suffering from, or that you may have questions about, or anything that's holding back who you could be sexually. And I want you to find somebody to address that with. Because once you have the conversation and they start you on the process of treatment, you're going to wish you had done it much sooner. You're going to wish you had done it much sooner. So don't cheat yourself, okay? Don't cheat yourself. Go on and get on in there. Have the conversations that you need to have to make sure that you are feeding your sexual health, and that what you are putting in is what you're getting out. Again, whatever you put into your body uses that for the output. Everything that goes into your body uses that to push it out. So whatever you're putting in there is what's going to come out. And so if you put good, strong sexual habits, safe sex, boundaries, getting your needs met, being honest about what you have going on, consent, all of those things are going to make you a happier person, which is going to bleed over into other parts of your life. Okay? I know you don't believe me, but I promise you it do. I promise. If you have a good sexual relationship with yourself and with your partner, your life will just infinitely be better. Right? I don't know how else to explain it to you. Love you too, Ricky. I'm so stinking proud of you. You've been going off lately. You've been going off. But I am really proud of you. I've been watching what you got going on, and I'm so over the moon with where you're going. Like, you're gonna be on the bottom floor of like this big movement. Oh, that's so exciting. And I know we're not supposed to be talking about you, but we are. And you have like you're doing the thing that you've been doing since you were a little kid. Like, that's crazy. How many people have been doing something for 20 years, 30 years? Like, you're going to be doing this for a long time. That's so dope that you like found something that you've loved from when you were a child. I'm super proud of you. There is nobody ever that is more proud of you than me. And you just started. Like, it's so much growth and so much room. Like, oh, I'm so happy for you. I've been saying that I was going to set up a Twitch to go play my games on, but I want to play old games. So like, I want to play my Nintendo and stuff. And so Bruce said he was going to look it up and see like what I needed to do it. But I do want to play my old video games. Like, oh, I'm on YouTube right now. It's all streaming all right now. So yeah, I'm on YouTube too. I'm everywhere. Today I'm on Twitter. No, I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Today. And I cleaned up my Patreon because there's some stuff that like people have been asking me questions about that I can't answer on any of these platforms. I can't, because they're gonna block us. So I am going to take some of my more spicier content to Patreon. And for the rest, until the end of my birthday, until August, I'm going to say September 1st, I'm going to let everybody on the ground floor in for the $2 or whatever it is that they have. And then I'm going to be able to talk, like, get in there. Like, we're going to talk about it. And I can talk you through some of those more trickier scenes and stuff, and lead you in a way that I'm not going to be able to do here. Like, they're not going to allow me to talk about some of that stuff here. So, I mean, the basic sex ed stuff, yes. But there are a lot more things that are surrounding pleasure, stuff like that that may not necessarily fit on these platforms. So they allow me to do this. I'm allowed to come in, answer questions, talk about basic sex education, things like that. But if I start getting more into, like, roping or squirting or stuff like that, then they gonna shut me down. So I want to have a place where we can go and talk about that. And so I'm setting up my Patreon now. I'm still working on it. Please, you heard him. Please support my Patreon because I am worth the money. I promise. um, but I'm gonna set it up so that I can have some of those conversations, and I want to be able to make a space where we can talk about it, and nobody's coming in and shutting the page down or being judgy, or anybody feels like whatever. So we gonna get it together. I wasn't gonna do it. I've had the Patreon, I don't know how long, like years and years and years. I think I set it up like 5 years ago. I never did anything with it because it's just like I said, it's too much social media. How am I supposed to do that? But as I keep getting kicked off of stuff and getting these questions about more pleasurable experiences and things that are surrounding pleasure more, I am gonna I have to move it. So I'm gonna start on my Patreon. Um, and so this is a free sex education sessions. That's what these are for. These are our free sex education sessions. If you need something more personal, I also do personal coaching. So you can make an appointment with me if you need me to teach a class. If you're having like an event, I do that too. So okay. So let's talk about the rest of the schedule for the week so that you can keep up and you know what's going on, and in case it's a class that you don't want to miss, that you can put it on your schedule. Okay? So today is Wednesday. We're doing Ask Coach Catasha. Tomorrow is Sex Tech Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to be talking about digisexuality, which is people who are exclusively dating in the virtual world. Like, their partners they have never met them. And I don't know, I kind of like that. I like that as an option, that because again, when you talk about different types of attractions, sometimes those attractions are not physical attractions. And as we learn and we grow and we future progresses, you're going to realize that there's so many other types of attractions as well. And so in our minds, being attracted to someone online seems like doofus, or the young us would have been like, you would like somebody online, like that's crazy. But like now that people are dating online, and many people meet their partners online and social media and all these things, it's not so far-fetched that people are exclusively dating online and never actually seeing each other. And so I don't know. I don't know. I'm intrigued by the idea of it. Like, people connect in all different types of ways. And so if we can create more ways for people to connect, absolutely. And then Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be doing our late night show. And we're going to be talking about what's going on in the news. What kind of sexual things have gone on. So when the thing with the Coldplay dude came up, I was like, we're definitely talking about that on Friday. But by the time Friday come around, it's going to be like, it's so many new developments. It's going to be, I'm going to have to like keep up. So, oh gosh. But we're going to be here chatting on Friday. So make sure you stick around. Follow us on our social medias. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitch. You can type Coach Catasha in any of those search bars, and I should pop up. I don't think there's another one. It's just me. So look for me. Save me on your calendar so you know. You can, if you follow us, you will get alerts when we go live. I do not go live all the time. I am only going live according to the schedule. So you don't have to worry about me bugging you. I'm only going to be going live according to the schedule. So I think I am going to start playing on the other, like playing individually on the other lives, just to kind of like see what's going on and kind of get the lay of the land. Cause I don't go live and do like stuff like that. I'm usually just working, honestly. I'm somewhere sitting in front of somebody talking to them about their butthole. That's what I'm doing most days. So if I'm not good at all that stuff, but I'm working on it. I'm working on being better, and I'm working on hiring a team to cover the spots that I can't yeah, Facebook is friends and word of mouth. So most of what I do is word of mouth. So I know, and you know what? If I had to be honest, I like it that way. I actually do like it that way. Um, because so I don't be on Twitter like that. I do be once it turned into X, I was just like, you know what? No, thank you. But I do know that a lot of my audience would be over there on Twitter. So I need to. I think it don't let me stream live. You have to have a subscription to stream on Twitter. So that's cool. Again, I'm not putting no money in that man's pocket. So that's not knowingly. Not I might be doing it. That's why I'm using Streamlab right now. I'm using Streamlab right now, but if you don't have it, it just doesn't let you do it. But again, I know them people over there, they be cutting up as soon as I log into Twitter. I do log into Twitter, especially if I get like a new term. Like if somebody gives me a new term. What did I just look up? Ooh, what was that? Somebody said something in a video. Uh, yeah. So that's what Bruce was saying for OBS. But I think this is a OBS is the parent of this, from what I understand. So I was thinking about downloading that too, but again, I think it's a Twitter thing because I can stream everywhere else. It lets me stream everywhere else. It just don't let me stream on there. So, but also I probably just need to do some more work over there because I do not be on my Twitter at all. And I heard they be on there cutting up buttholes open. So I need to be in the building if that's what y'all in there doing. No, wait for me. Wait for me. Especially my gay friends. They say it'd be cracking over there. So yeah, I need to get in. Um, okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's what I figured because it is pretty easy. Streamlabs is pretty easy to use. And I am a vanilla streamer because I do not know what I'm doing. I am. Ain't to be on here tearing it up. But I'm learning. I learn a little more every day. And I don't think like because of the nature of my content, it doesn't make it everywhere. Like I don't have access to the same amount of people that other people do because I make sure all of my stuff is flagged for 18 and older. And, a lot of those big streamers have youth as the bulk of their streaming platform. And so I don't want that. So I'll take what I can get. I have not gotten into the Twitch program yet. Um, I don't know. I'm still just working hard. We'll see. I haven't gotten into the Twitch program yet, but I'm only one thing away. Like I just have to get the average viewers. It says I need 3 average viewers, but it be saying I be having the viewers, but I don't never turn into average viewers. So I don't know how that works. But that's the only thing that I need to do. The vanilla with a swirl. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep on working, keep my head down. I got all the rest of the stuff, and I'll figure it out. And then Rihanna will see me, and she'll be like, "Girl, this postpartum is kicking my butt. Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Girl, I can, and I can, and let me see them kids, cause I love me some other people's kids." So, yeah, but if you do want to ask me questions and you don't think that um, you're not comfortable with that, with outing yourself, please feel free to email me. And if you don't want me to bring it back to the show, if you just want me to answer it in the email, I can do that too. Just be like, hey, this is not for the show, but I have a question about blah blah blah. If you do have a question, please give me time. Again, it was 3:33. Let me find the dude's name again. Someone sent me a question, And I guess I didn't get to it fast enough because they were sick of my shit talking about hello. um, oh, well, you know what? Maybe he blocked me because he also sent me a message in my spam inbox um on my personal email. But again, okay, so if you have a question, ask me the question. Don't come in my inbox and being like, "Hey, I want to ask you a question. Is it okay?" I'm not going to respond to that. I'm telling you to come in the inbox and ask me the question. That way I can just answer the question. If you don't have a question, I'm going to keep on moving. So, don't come in and ask me, is it okay to ask the question? Just ask it. That way you get your question answered. Because I don't have, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't have the capacity to chase down your specific question. Just ask me. Um, let's see. Let's see. You know what I really don't like? I don't like when like people send you messages and they put like re in front of it like it's a reply, and I'm specifically in my LinkedIn inbox now, and like I know that that's not my like I wouldn't even be talking to nobody who looked like you. Like I don't. Why are you doing that? Okay. So that is our. Don't look like I have anything. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So it looks like that is us for the day. If you would like to follow along with us, please click the follow button on our whatever platform you're watching right now so that you can get the notifications for it. Make sure you're also following me on social media. Let me give you my link tree so that you can see everything. Um, and that way you can follow me on all of my socials. I think they just made me hook them all up into here too though, so you should find them pretty easily. But you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on FetLife. You can follow me wherever you want to follow me. I'm everywhere. So feel free to do that. I look forward to seeing you again. You can check our socials for our weekly schedule, and it changes every week, and we will have a schedule up every week showing the classes on Sunday for the classes for the week. So just keep us locked in, and hopefully we will be able to grow together. All right. I will see y'all tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and play nice.